Meeting for June 20th, 2017, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I got a mic now. Okay. First, we'd like to take a moment to welcome the Mandela Washington Fellows. We call, I guess, Laura Joseph. Is Laura here?
They're on their way.
Oh, they're on their way. All right, well, we'll save that. In that case, we'll call Jobs and Family Services first.
Resolution number 436-17, resolution authorizing a non-general fund supplemental appropriation for social services contracts.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
You fighting it out who's going to speak?
I'm in the training seat today, so bear with me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Corey Wyvens here, Job and Family Services. This resolution would authorize a supplemental appropriation of $3,810,000 within the Public Assistance Fund in order to award our remaining federal fiscal year 2017 social service contracts and to begin awarding our federal fiscal year 2018 contracts. This resolution would also adjust the agency's 2017 budget revenue estimates accordingly. We're making this request to accommodate higher than anticipated contracts awarded thus far this year, as well as to accommodate the receipt of additional funding for both state fiscal year 2017 and federal fiscal year 2017. We have received $1.13 million in Ohio Youth Works funding. This is previously known as TANF Summer Youth money from the state, which we did not believe we would have available playing in our 2017 budget. Additionally, we have been receiving a higher reimbursement rate for our Medicaid administrative costs for efforts associated with the Ohio Benefits Project, resulting in an increase of $2.67 million associated with federal Medicaid enhancement funding. We intend to use the approximately $3.81 million in supplemental appropriations to fund community programs and services throughout the remainder of the 2017 calendar year, and our agency has the sufficient resources to support these budget adjustments. Pending any questions, we ask for approval of this resolution.
I will move for passage of 436-17.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 436-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 437-17, resolution approving an agreement for software support and maintenance between the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services and Northwoods Consulting Partners Incorporated in the amount of $308,843.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Juan Torres, Deputy Director of Technology. This resolution would approve the contract with Northwoods Consulting Services to provide the software maintenance. The Northwoods Workflow Suite provides document imaging, document management, electronic forms, appointment scheduling, reception, and mail service scanning. Our agency first began using the software in 2007. This contract would cover maintenance support for July 1st of this year through June 30th of 2018. Additionally, the contract includes options for 4 additional one-year renewals. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 437-17.
Before I second that, I just want to point out that in briefing we discussed really the whole idea of customer service within Jobs and Family Services. I mean, this is an agency that serves our most vulnerable citizens and those who are in need, and customer service is, quite frankly, the catalyst to being able to connect those folks in need with actual resources. And so, I mean, this is it's software support agreement, but it's actually really a big deal, and it's really something that's important to those. If you had to spend any time at Jobs and Family Services, this is one of those things that is important to ensure they have access. And so I would enthusiastically second that motion.
Thank you.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 437-17 has been adopted.
And I'm so glad you said that,
Yeah.
because it is important. It doesn't sound like anything more than
Right, but it is.
software, but it is. And thank you both
We appreciate your support. Thank you.
If I just add one thing, because I really does, the way you just said is perfect, because when you think, I mean, Franklin County is the largest county in Ohio, and thus we have, I think, the second highest poverty rate in Ohio, I believe. And so in terms of servicing those folks and the volume that comes in, being able to call, and I've been over there and walked through this, where you call and you can be put into a queue on hold, but the point is that you're in a queue and you'll talk to somebody to get the help that you need. And this kind of thing ensures that we're not losing folks, and ensures that we're being able to connect them to resources. And I just don't want to gloss over this. I'm glad you said the way you did, Commissioner Brown, because it seems like a kind of an easy resolution, but it's actually a very important piece, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for letting me say that again. Next, we have Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 438-17, review of petition to annex 4 acres from Jackson Township to the City of Grove City, case number ANX-09-17.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This morning we have a resolution to consider a municipal annexation of 4 acres. That's from Jackson Township to Grove City. The area to be annexed includes portions of Jackson Pike and Stringtown Road public right-of-ways. The petition was filed by Agent Stephen Smith. He's a law director on behalf of the City of Grove City. Stephen is in attendance, should you have any questions. The City of Grove City has authorized the annexation of the territory under Ordinance C-17-17, passed on May 1st, 2017. Petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in Section 709.16 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we seek your approval.
Stephen, do you have anything you want to say?
Stephen Smith, Law Director, City of Grove City, Ross Brown Todd. I just want to thank you for your consideration. This is part of a project we're doing for our new Ohio Health Development on Stringtown Road. We are working with the county to make roadway improvements on Stringtown Road and Jackson Pike, and we will be annexing the roadway in actually 3 separate annexations. So this is the first of 3 times I will be before you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll move for approval of this resolution.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 438-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Child Support Enforcement.
Resolution number 439-17, resolution authorizing a 4D contract with the Franklin County Clerk of Courts in the amount of $197,826.10.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lori Torriero, Assistant Director for the Franklin County Child Support Agency. This is our annual contract for services interagency with the Clerk of Courts. It establishes a unit rate for every filing that is initiated by our agency. As we discussed in briefing, the cost of these contracts have been going down over the years as both entities automate processes, resulting in some greater efficiencies and reduced costs on the part of the Clerk of Courts, which are then passed to us.
Which is good.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
good. I'll move for approval of Resolution 439-17.
And I'll just say that I had the pleasure yesterday of attending the Joint Committee on Agency Rule Review. It's a mouthful, JCAR, for child support enforcement and allocation area. And I was really proud of how Franklin County represented those families that we ultimately serve at the committee. And, you know, as a former legislator, I can tell you it's very difficult to turn a train around or back a train up when something makes it to a committee floor for a vote. It is very rare that you can back that train up because so much work has gone on. But Franklin County really represented itself well and led a contingency that gave the committee cause for pause and give us a little more time to fight for those funds, and ultimately, which means we're fighting for those families that need those resources and for us to do our job. And so I just want to recognize that because I was really impressed with how we were organized, the content of the information that was provided. And this has been an ongoing thing for about a month and a half or so. I know Commissioner Brown has also been involved. So this was kind of the climax of the conversation. But it's very rare that when you get to that point, you're able to back that train up. I can tell you from experience, it generally, by the time it gets there for a vote, it is a finished product. And so I just wanted to recognize the work that you all are doing.
I will definitely pass that on to Director Brown, who has been in the forefront of the discussion, and now with leading the other counties who are our allies in trying to just bring some, I don't know, realistic approach to allocating what we all know are finite funds throughout the program around the state. You know, certainly the current system has its flaws, but the new system just moves those flaws around. It doesn't actually resolve the issue. So we were...
And more importantly, it in many ways penalizes counties like Franklin County
Yes.
For the work that we're doing successfully.
Yeah.
And that just isn't a fair way to go about it. And fair, I'm saying not to Franklin County, but to the families
Right,
that might
exactly.
be in jeopardy of not
Yeah.
being able to go out and get those resources
Yeah,
that they
the things
deserve.
that we're doing in Franklin County are not being done in other counties.
Right.
And there's no recognition under the proposed rule for that new way of doing business that ultimately is providing better service to our constituents.
Yeah.
So we're-
Well, you and Director Brown and your whole team have turned that agency into something so special
yeah.
for the families that need the services, and for the kids especially, to be able to get the resources to help those families really thrive, and for the fathers mostly to get into job training and jobs. I mean, you've turned it around, and for that to be penalized, I just don't understand it, and it makes no sense. So thank you, as Commissioner Boyce said. Has it been moved?
Second. Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 439-17 has been adopted.
Thank you
very much for your recognition.
And I know we have some guests here, but I think Commissioner O'Grady is almost here, and so I want to give him a chance because I know he'd want to welcome you as well. So if you don't mind, we'll call up the next group and give Commissioner O'Grady just a little more time to get here because I know he wants to be here to welcome our friends from South Africa. So next we have community partnerships.
Resolution number 440-17, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with the Capital Area Humane Society to investigate cases of animal cruelty, neglect, and abandonment in Franklin County in the amount of $35,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. This resolution will fulfill our obligation to Capital Area Humane Society to fund their efforts, just as Antoine said, to investigate cases of animal cruelty, abandonment, and abuse. So if there are no questions, I would respectfully request that the motion pass.
It's good to have the partnership that we have with them and animal shelter. So I will move for approval of Resolution 440-17.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 440-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 441-17, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with the Center for Family Safety and Healing to provide assistance to victims of family violence in the amount of $230,000.
This resolution is supporting the work of the Center for Family Safety and Healing in reaching out and representing victims of domestic violence, pursuing civil protection orders, and this work is really groundbreaking. It's a model that has been replicated across the country, and we're very fortunate this morning to have Lori Bacan here, who is representing the work of the Center for Family Safety and Healing, and she can say a few words to really help add color to the work that they are doing. Lori?
Good morning, Lori.
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you. That's probably the main thing I want to say is thank you. I think you know how valuable the program is to the county. Certainly the judges would tell you so, and the individuals who can't afford to hire counsel for this work. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but mostly I wanted to say thank you.
We appreciate the work that you're doing on behalf of the people that really need your services. I'll move for approval of Resolution 44117.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 441-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, let's go back to the beginning. And we have with us today some Mandela Washington Fellows. For some introductions, we have some guests with us today. And we have Laura Joseph, who's the Assistant Director at OSU's Center for African Studies. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are
Thank you
you?
very much for hosting us. How are you?
Good.
Good. How are you today?
Very good, very good. We're very happy to be here. Our center, together with the John Glenn College of Public Affairs, is very honored to be hosting now a second cohort of Mandela Washington Fellows. This is a program that was spearheaded by President Obama, and it identifies emerging leaders throughout the continent. We have people here from 17 different countries and representing a whole range of disciplines. We have people who are medical doctors, people in public health, we have social workers, we have entrepreneurs, we have agriculturalists. They're here for a 6-week program to study public management, essentially to become better public servants, because in addition to their work as professionals, they are all deeply engaged in community development. So they will be doing community service, they will be visiting government offices, NGOs, businesses, and this is their first introduction really to the government process, so we're delighted to be here, and thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
So, 27 years ago today, Nelson Mandela and his wife arrived in New York, and there was a ticker tape parade to honor him as he began an 8-city tour of the United States in celebration of he and his wife and their life, and it was just previous to him being elected, obviously, president of South Africa. So that was 27 years ago today, June. What's today's date? June 20th. 1990. So I just happened to notice that this morning, and then knew you guys were coming today. So who knew? Very coincidental. But well, we're so glad to have you guys here today.
And
Welcome.
such impressive students. And I know we're going to have some conversation after general session. I was looking at some of the backgrounds. Very impressive work that you're doing in your countries, and it's just extraordinary what you've done in your own countries. So we welcome to our community, and thank you for being here. It is an honor for us to host you here, and we look forward to listening and hearing your questions and answering your questions and having some conversation after our general session.
I just said, too, that, the story of Nelson Mandela is a story that no matter where you come from on this globe, you understand, that element of freedom that exists. And what you represent is a part of that legacy, the legacy and contribution to a better globe, a better interaction within your own country, but from one country to the next as well. Had a chance to spend some time in South Africa in the, I guess would have been early 2000s sometime, and I got to visit and study for a minute at Witwatersrand University and learn more about Nelson Mandela's walk to freedom. And to think of someone being jailed for decades and then to serve as president of that country and lead that country into a new era, that really creates hope, no matter how you look at it on this globe. And we're in a time in America right now where we're really trying to figure out our future with our leader in Washington, and not just that individual in particular, but the politics that exist in our country today like they haven't in some time. And you're a part of that because you're helping us to understand the global elements of what we do, or the global impact of what we do. So I just wanted to say I appreciate what you represent in leaving your families, leaving your countries, and coming to experience a great university experience, but also a great community in Central Ohio. And so we hope that you have something to take back with you that adds value to your own role that you play in your community. So thank you so much for being here, and look forward to hearing more about your stories.
Yeah, I look forward to the conversation this morning. My daughter is a 20-year-old college student at John Carroll University in Cleveland, and in August she'll be leaving for 4 months to study at the National University of Ireland in Galway, and we'll be spending every weekend, hopefully every weekend, traveling throughout Europe while she's in Ireland. And so she's been looking forward to it. This was a huge part of her decision about where to go to school, and so she's excited, and she's very much looking forward to it. We are very anxious about this trip for her. We're excited for her, and so we are. So I'm looking forward to this morning's conversation. So, all right. Well, let's move on. Get this program and this agenda finished this morning, and then we can get on to it. So, human resources.
Resolution number 442-17, resolution authorizing a binding of excess stopgap coverage with Midwest Employers Casualty Company for Franklin County's self-insured workers' compensation program in the amount of $354,288.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, Human Resources.
Jerry Bauer, Human Resources. Commissioners, this resolution binds the stopgap excess coverage for our self-insured workers' compensation program. Our consultant, Willis Towers Watson, conducted a competitive selection process, and Midwest Employers Casualty Company came up with the lowest and best policy. Pending any questions, I'd ask for approval of this resolution.
I'll move for approval of Resolution 44217.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 442-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 443-17, resolution approving personnel actions.
And we have one personnel action this week, Department of Job and Family Services, a removal. Pending any questions?
I'll move for approval of 44317.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 443-17 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Purchasing.
Resolution number 444-17, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $723,966.38.
Good morning, Commissioners. Carl Cuspert representing the Purchasing Department. The resolution before you requests for approval of 104 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as availability funded by the county auditor. If any questions, I recommend their approval.
I will move for approval of 44417.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 444-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners.
I will move to bring 43317 back from the table.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 433-17 is removed from the table. Resolution number 433-17, resolution appointing Derek Anderson to the Franklin County Children's Services Board.
I am going to move to table indefinitely for 3317.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 433-17 has been tabled indefinitely.
All right. Do we have any journalizations this morning?
There are none today.
All right. No journalizations this morning, so that concludes our business for June 20th. And then we will move on. All right. So,
You want to close out general session?
general session is completed.
Okay.
Yes.